since we're going this year, it would have been 8 years earlier, because 4 years ago they were here. So you play the other divisions every 4 years, and then they switch the home and away. So I don't even remember the game last.
Well, I don't know if this was the last one, but I remember it was notable because the Browns played poorly, and then Odell had the whole thing afterwards with the cleats giving them to Tom Brady, and it was a whole story.
Oh, that era. So it was 19? It must have been 2019. So it was less than 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Not a game at the top of my memory. And as I used on the NFL Roundtable this morning, a lot of these Browns-Patriots games are very noteworthy to me.
Yeah.
But that one wasn't.
Yeah,
Didn't
there
make
we go.
The list.
We're going to get into the game. I want to talk about the matchup and all that. I did want to start, Tony. So SI.com today published an article, 6 NFL teams that should be sellers at the trade deadline. They list the Browns.
Don't skip a single second of this video. And if this story touches your heart, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. Where are you watching from? Let's begin. I'm going to be honest with you. What we're watching in Cleveland doesn't look like a front office with a plan. It looks like a building with the fire alarm blaring and nobody near the exit map. The second that $200 million blockbuster headline hit the timeline, you could feel the temperature spike. Phones buzzing on every desk, assistants sprinting down hallways with printouts that don't say anything new. And Stefanski, you can see it in his body language. Hands on hips, darting eyes, that clipped tone at the mic like he's trying to hold a beach ball underwater. This isn't calm. This isn't controlled. This is pressure, raw and loud, leaking through every crack in the organization. Here's why this moment hits so hard for the city. Cleveland has begged for a quarterback. Not a jersey, not a headline. A quarterback. You know it, I know it. Generations of fans know it. The kind of guy you point to and say, that's ours, that's the future. And now, right when the building finally has a kid with upside juice and a name that draws cameras, they flirt with the idea of cashing him out like a stock at the first sign of volatility. For what? For short-term cover? For a shiny piece to calm the noise? You don't build legacies with panic moves. You don't build belief with press releases. I keep replaying the same picture in my head. Stefanski pacing the corridor outside the locker room, play sheet folded twice, trying to convince himself this is just noise. Meanwhile, inside those walls, guys hear everything. Linemen hear it, receivers hear it. The backup hears it most of all. You feel it in the tap of cleats on concrete, the quiet before walkthroughs, the eyes that won't meet because everybody knows the topic you're not supposed to bring up. If he's the future, why isn't he being treated like the future? Watch the pressers. You can spot the frustration before he says a word. Short answers, tight jaw, a coach stuck between protecting the room and protecting the narrative. And the narrative is ugly. The team that finally stumbled onto hope is teasing the idea of trading it before it even takes its first team reps. That's not development, that's denial. The truth is simple and heavy. This city deserves better. These fans have sat through rain-soaked Novembers, quarterback carousels, and next year's speeches that feel like recycled apologies. And now with a kid who could be the answer, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon, they're hearing about auction blocks and bidding wars like we're talking about a number on a spreadsheet instead of a heartbeat in a huddle. I'm sorry, but you can't sell me on culture when the first sign of heat sends you to the trade machine. Say it with me, because it's the only way to cut through the noise. This isn't leadership. This is confusion. This is Cleveland. And if someone in that building doesn't slam a fist on the table and choose direction over distraction, belief over buzz, then tell me, be real with me. What are we actually doing here? Is this panic, or is this the beginning of another Cleveland collapse? Let's talk about why Shedeur Sanders is at the center of this storm. Because this isn't just about a rookie quarterback trying to earn a spot. This is about a player who walked into Cleveland with everything you'd want in a young leader: composure, accuracy, and a work ethic that's already NFL caliber. The kid's got pedigree in his veins and poise in his pulse. Every time he stepped on a field, from Jackson State to Colorado, He's carried himself like someone who's already seen the spotlight and didn't blink. But somehow in Cleveland, that confidence has become a problem instead of a promise. Look, I've watched this league long enough to know when a coaching staff believes in their guy. You can see it in how they speak about him. You can see it in the reps they give him. And right now, the Browns look like a team that's scared to believe in Shedeur Sanders. Stefanski's decision not to give him first-team reps isn't strategy, it's fear. Fear of disruption, fear of headlines, fear of being wrong. And when a coach starts coaching scared, development dies. What makes it worse is that Shedeur's doing everything right. No ego, no complaining, just grinding. Every clip out of practice, you see the same calm energy, smooth dropbacks, controlled mechanics, eyes scanning the field like a vet. This isn't some raw project. This is a polished quarterback trapped behind a wall of hesitation, and I can't help but think, if Shedeur was wearing a Jets uniform, would anyone be doubting him? If he was in Houston last year, getting those first-team reps like C.J. Stroud, would we already be talking about him as the next breakout? Probably, because we've seen this movie before. Stroud was supposed to take time. He didn't. Brock Purdy was a Mr. Irrelevant pick. He's now leading playoff runs because his team believed in him early. Belief is everything in this league. It's the oxygen young quarterbacks breathe. Without it, even the most talented players suffocate under the system. And that's the tragedy here. Cleveland's system doesn't trust its own investment. Stefanski's preaching patience like it's a virtue, but fans see it for what it is: paralysis. You can't keep preaching development while the same kid you drafted to change your franchise stands on the sideline watching second-string snaps go to somebody else. That's not patience. That's mismanagement disguised as discipline. And let's be honest, if his last name wasn't Sanders, if his father wasn't Dion, if there wasn't a camera pointed at every breath he takes, maybe the Browns would handle this differently. Maybe they'd treat him like what he is, a top-tier prospect who just needs opportunity, not overprotection. But because of the noise, the pressure, the name, they're overthinking every move. And while the front office hides behind cautious language, Shedeur's out here proving he's ready. Every throw, every presser, every quiet response to chaos. He's showing the maturity they claim they're waiting to see. So I'll say it plain. This isn't about readiness. It's about trust. The Browns don't trust what they drafted. And that hesitation is exactly how promising careers stall before they even start. If they don't fix that soon, it won't just be Shedeur losing faith in Cleveland. It'll be every fan who's tired of watching talent rot on the bench while the organization pretends it knows what it's doing. Because let's be real, this isn't development anymore. This is fear. And fear never wins in the NFL. And just wait, the media's about to smell blood in the water. You ever notice how the media in Cleveland can take a spark and turn it into a wildfire before the match even hits the ground? That's exactly what's happening with Shedeur Sanders right now. Every hour, every segment, every post, it's the same recycled drama. Sources say trade talks are heating up. Insiders believe Cleveland's lost faith. Anonymous scouts question his readiness. None of it is new. None of it's confirmed. But it spreads like gospel because Cleveland's chaos sells. And instead of talking about Shedeur's mechanics, his leadership, or how he's handled this pressure like a pro, the headlines keep painting him like a headline experiment. Something to fill airtime between commercials. This is how it always starts here. One rumor, one misquote, one report, and suddenly the whole narrative shifts. Local radio hosts start tossing his name around like it's part of a fantasy trade package. What if we threw in Shedeur for Garrett Wilson? Would you move him if the offer's big enough? You hear it on 92.3, The Fan, on talk radio, on Reddit threads. It's everywhere. And it's wild how easily the conversation drifts from developing a quarterback to disposing of a quarterback before he's even taken meaningful snaps. Like this city's addicted to pressing reset before the progress bar even hits halfway. But here's the part that really stings. We've seen this before. They said the same about Baker. They said the same about Johnny. They said the same every single time. Promise turns into pressure. Pressure turns into doubt. Doubt turns into headlines. And then headlines turn into trade rumors. It's like a cycle this city can't break. The Cleveland curse isn't about missed field goals or fumbled snaps. It's about patience. This town forgets what it means to let a quarterback grow. And yeah, Baker had flaws. Johnny had his demons. But you can't lump Shedeur into that same category. He's not reckless. He's not immature. He's not out here chasing clout. He's composed, calculated, a student of the game. You talk to people who've watched him since Boulder, and they'll tell you the same thing. This kid is built for the spotlight. But somehow, Cleveland's media machine still finds a way to twist that calm into something negative. He's too quiet, too polished. Does he care enough? It's exhausting. And yet, this time feels different. You can feel it in the way fans are reacting online. They're not falling for the spin anymore. They're defending him. They're pushing back. Because deep down, they know this isn't about talent. It's about identity. It's about whether Cleveland can finally learn to believe in something without tearing it down first. That's what makes this story hit so hard. It's not just another quarterback drama. It's a mirror. It's showing Cleveland exactly what it's been running from. The fear of getting it wrong again. The media can keep playing puppet master with their anonymous sources, but the people, the fans, they can feel it. Something about this kid feels different. And if the city doesn't protect that, if they let the noise win again, then history's just going to repeat itself. The same cycle, the same heartbreak, the same headlines. Only this time, it won't just be another chapter in Cleveland's quarterback curse. It'll be proof that maybe the curse was never about the players at all. Maybe it's about the way Cleveland keeps eating its own. Let's be real. This whole $200 million blockbuster trade headline sounds massive. But when you zoom out, it starts to look more like smoke than fire. That's the thing about the NFL rumor mill. The moment one front office panics, 5 others see an opportunity. And right now it feels like the Jets and half the AFC are playing poker, not football. They're tossing numbers out there, floating wild offers, hoping Cleveland blinks first, because that's how the game behind the game is played. You don't just negotiate with GMs, you negotiate with headlines. You leak a $200 million package, let social media run wild, and suddenly the other team's fan base is panicking before anyone's even picked up the phone. And Cleveland? They're falling right into it. Every time a new report drops, the front office scrambles to evaluate options. Every time a national show mentions Shedeur, Stefanski has to step up to the mic and act calm while his eyes say otherwise. But here's what people aren't talking about. This isn't just about football anymore. This is about money, optics, and leverage. Cleveland's ownership isn't just thinking about depth charts. They're thinking about that new stadium deal hanging over the city. They're thinking about ticket renewals, jersey sales, sponsorship dollars, and the one name that's keeping those numbers alive, Shedeur Sanders. He's not just a rookie quarterback. He's a brand, a headline generator, a marketing goldmine. That last name carries weight. It fills seats before he ever takes a snap, and the Browns know that. So when fans ask, why isn't he getting reps? Or why not just trade him if they don't believe in him? The answer might not be football logic at all. It might be business logic, because as crazy as it sounds, the Browns don't need Shedeur to play to make money. They just need him to exist on the roster. Every jersey sold, every clip posted, every rumor discussed keeps the brand alive. They're not protecting a player, they're protecting a product. And that's where this whole thing gets twisted. Imagine having a Ferrari parked in your garage. You don't drive it, you don't race it, you just polish it every few weeks and show it off when company comes over. That's what Cleveland's doing. They've got something beautiful, something powerful, but they're too afraid to take it out on the road. Because deep down, they know, if that Ferrari gets a scratch, the resale value drops. And maybe that's the real reason the trade hasn't happened. Not because the offer wasn't real, but because Shedeur's value off the field is higher than anything they'd get in return on it. To them, he's leverage. Leverage for the stadium vote, leverage for off-season hype, leverage for every next year's speech that keeps fans hanging on. It's business, sure. But when business starts replacing belief, something gets lost. Because let's not forget what this league is supposed to be about. It's about players earning chances, teams building legacies, fans believing that what happens between the lines actually matters. But in Cleveland, that line's been blurred. And if they keep treating their young quarterback like a marketing campaign instead of a future franchise leader, then they'll learn a truth every great team already knows. Because when business outweighs belief, no team wins. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet before something big, the kind of calm that doesn't come from defeat. It comes from focus. That's where Shedeur Sanders is right now. The world screaming around him, reporters twisting stories, fans arguing online, analysts talking about trades and panic and who's NFL ready. But Shedeur, he's silent, not scared, not bitter. Just locked in. Because when you've been through everything he's already faced, chaos stops rattling you. It starts sharpening you. Remember Colorado? The hype, the spotlight, the hate. Every week was a headline. Every throw was a referendum. Yet through it all, Shedeur never lost his composure. Never cracked. While people doubted, he delivered. Setting records, leading drives, playing like every snap was personal. That same mindset is what's going to carry him through this Cleveland mess. Because here's the truth. Pressure doesn't create diamonds. It reveals them. The Browns can trade him, bench him, ignore him, but they can't stop what's coming. You don't silence players built like this. You delay them. You give them more time to study, to prepare, to remember every single person who said they weren't ready. And when the opportunity finally cracks open, one injury, one bad start, one moment, that's when everything changes. Because Shedeur doesn't need luck. He just needs a chance. And that's what I keep telling people who've already written him off. You can't measure heart on a depth chart. You can't chart composure on a stat sheet. The same people doubting him now are the ones who'll be replaying his highlights later, pretending they saw it coming. But real fans, the ones watching this saga unfold week after week, we know exactly what's happening. We're watching a young quarterback getting molded by fire. We're watching patience turn into power. Maybe Cleveland figures it out. Maybe they wake up, give him the reps, and realize what's sitting right in front of them. Or maybe another team sees the writing on the wall and gives him the platform he deserves. Either way, Shedeur's story isn't stopping here. If anything, this is the turning point. This is where the noise fades and the legacy begins. Because this isn't about a trade rumor or a coach's decision. This is about a quarterback who understands that greatness doesn't ask for perfect timing. It creates it. Every dynasty, every superstar, every so-called overnight success started with a moment just like this. Doubt, silence, then explosion. So here's my prediction, and bookmark it because I mean it. If Cleveland lets Shedeur Sanders walk, they'll regret it for the next decade. They'll watch him torch defenses somewhere else, cool as ever, and realize they had the spark and smothered it with fear. Mark my words. This story isn't about a trade. It's about a quarterback who refused to let chaos write his legacy.